Just a little bit talk about Michigan, what you see. I assume you've seen some film from them. What are their strengths? What makes them a challenge for tomorrow?
They're really good in transition. They're shooting it really better from the three these past few games. Their defense is like real compact and tight, and they're just a good team.
How about Yogi? Same thing.
Yeah, they definitely play great help side defense.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, they play very hard on defense. We noticed that, especially in film. They're, there we go. They're definitely one of the harder defensive playing teams in the Big Ten, and they got a lot of great shooters. They like to play out the corners a lot. Lots of pin downs, back cuts, handoffs. That's just their style of play.
Obviously, the injuries to Derek Walton, Karis LeVert, how have they affected the way they've played?
Yeah, I mean, those are basically their better two guys, but maybe in the long run, that can definitely help them with getting some other guys in who probably wouldn't have played as much, so that would give them some extra minutes to go in. And, you know, even looking down the road, they have better confidence. So,
are they at all a reflection of what you guys do at times? Have you seen similarities there? It's like kind of the way they're made up right now with injuries and the way you guys are playing?
A little bit. So, but you know, we got guys hopefully coming back, and you know, it's just a play on demand, really. You know, when some of our guys got injured, guys, you know, Colin, Emmett, playing extra long minutes, we got a play on demand program, and I feel like guys have done that pretty well this season.
For either of you, how has the practices been since the Wisconsin game? How quickly do you kind of put that behind you and try to move ahead after, I guess, a frustrating loss?
We put that behind us after we saw the film, and then as soon as we started watching the Michigan film. So it's been behind us for a couple of days now.
What did you see on film that maybe you wanted to work on or maybe something like?
We had a great stretch. I feel like the second half we were actually bearing down and started playing defense. But the main thing was, you know, defense basically, guarding one-on-one, having help side defense.
Is that the biggest difference that you've seen between the games when you guys have played really well and when you struggle?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, defense wins championships. You always hear it all the time. So, especially you got to play defense against Wisconsin, you got to play defense against Michigan or any other team in the Big Ten.
Sorry, you talked a little bit about being able to put the Wisconsin game behind you quickly. You talked about, Yogi, I think you in particular, Coach, talked about how you felt like this team handled success well at the start of Big Ten play. You had that nice run, I think 5-1 to start Big Ten and not letting it kind of go to anybody's head. How have you seen kind of this group handle, I guess, just a little bit of a tough stretch? You've lost 3 or 4 here, all of them on the road, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you can lose any given night against the Big Ten. The main thing is you just got to bring it every night. What we try and stress to these guys is it's the Big Ten, one of the best conferences in the NCAA. So any team can be any team on any given night. So when you got a couple stretches where we haven't been winning, you kind of just got to try and get to the next game, try and get that winning streak going.
You guys have the best offense in the Big Ten, and by points-wise, the worst defense in the Big Ten. So how do you don't want to lower the offense, but what do you need to do? What's the key to get that defense closer to the offense?
I would say just coming more together on defense. You know, our offense, we understand where everybody's supposed to be. We got no multiple positions and all. Just on the defensive end now, we just got to pick it up. You know, me and Colin, of course, are playing regarding against positions that we usually don't or we haven't before. So we just got to pick it up. Just keep using our quickness and having more togetherness on the court.
Is that a kind of communication? Is that maybe more key because you're a little limited in terms of size?
Communication is always there with us. I would say it's just more of just buckling down and second it up and just having a guard position that you just don't know they have to guard. Or in our case, it's just from guarding a big man to a guard, or switching on to a guard, or you're just everywhere on the court.
How hard is that? I mean, you go from a guy who's 6'8", 6'9", whatever, and to a guy who's 6 foot. I mean, that's a pretty dramatic change. I know, Yogi, you've dealt with that quite a bit.
Yeah, I would say it's probably harder for him than it is me. Because I've been guarding guards for the longest. I had 2 last year. So just guarding a big, I just had to use my quickness and don't have to out-strength him or anything. So, I mean, it's hard, but like once you've been doing it the whole season, it just becomes easy and becomes a habit.
Do you, I guess Michigan's gone, I think, 4-guard lineups because of some of the injuries. Do you feel like you guys won't have to get as creative with matchups against them because I think they've kind of just had to go small too recently?
I mean, all I know that they're just a good team. They're a great team. They have great togetherness like we do. So, I mean, we won't really know till either today or tomorrow.
Time for one more.
I'm sorry.
No, I guess I was just going to ask about Zach Irvin. You probably know him somewhat from back in your days in high school and Indy together. He's been taking a lot more shots, using a lot more possessions. I mean, maybe what you'd naturally expect from him this year, especially with the injuries. What's different about, I guess, what you see in him as a player now compared to last year and even, back in high school?
Yeah, he's playing with tremendous more confidence this season. He's a great flat-footed shooter, so you can't have your hands down when he's standing there with the ball because he can just rise up and shoot at any point. He's a tremendous driver. I feel like he's a lot more aggressive from what I've seen on film in the games. I say he's their go-to guy, I feel like, for the Michigan team.
Can I get that one? Yeah, just for Yogi, just what I asked Troy, you have to guard a guy like Kaminsky or something like that. How do you do that, a guy your size going from a guard to a guy that big? What's the key?
He is, I mean, for me, being a little guy, personally, what we do, we just got to sit low on him, try and take away the legs, try and, everything possible for him not to get the ball. And sometimes, if I'm guarding him, trying to put 2 guys on him, one in front, one behind. That's what I try and do, basically, when guarding the big guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Coach, being in the minute.